Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into the daily SPY, and 43 cents up on the day. Fifth, it was like 49 million to end the day. We have a little bit, a couple million after hours to get us to 52, but 49 million on the day. Pretty much a snooze fest. There was a couple stocks going up and down. Snap after hours getting snapped, but other than that, it was a pretty just no event day. Grinding. We talked about the bullish pattern, popped up, bullish pattern into the trend line up here. Got to respect it. Still above the MA, still strong. If you're bullish, got to get over the 240.32 hump, and then boom, you possibly go into 245, and then a 250 area if it continues up. Still a good bullish pattern, still has to get above the all-time high in this trend line, but right now I see no problem with it other than the light volume. It's been like that for a little while here, guys, so kind of eerie. You know, even Goldman, Lloyd came out and said, hey, this is kind of eerie, which he knows damn well he's not participating in these markets. So again, bullish stance, great pattern. I don't like this little pop-up here. I liked if it would have kept going and then took off. So it's the only thing I really don't like. But again, bullish stance, nothing wrong. Light volume, that's the only thing that's catching my eye in this one. IWM got a nice bounce off the 20 MA today. Boom, it was 86 cents up. Still a little bearish pattern. Still above the MAs. Gives us a bullish stance. Bullish, you got to get above the all-time high, 141.82, and then go for this trend line right around 143. We get through that, then 145 and possibly 150 on this one. We'll watch this one real close. Let's keep an eye on this pattern. You know, if it starts retracing to 140, 141, and then this bearish pattern will be slightly off the table. We'll see if it retraces and then maybe comes back in. But again, I like this bearish pattern. This could possibly be setting up for lower prices. Again, though, nothing wrong. Bullish stance above the MAs, slightly bearish, still bullish overall. So IWM, light volume again today, 19 million, so be aware of that. The Qs just keeps grinding higher, guys. 12 days up, a little bit of consolidation, boom, boom, boom. 3 days more, 3 days up in a row. And right now, just a little bit of a pause day. 8 cents up, a little bit after hours. Again, volume lightened up. Yesterday wasn't bad when they pushed it up. Today it lightened up a little bit. Again, though, 140, 141, I wouldn't rule out. Let's see what this does. Let's see if we can recapture 138.63 on a close. And let's see if we can shoot the 140, 141. Once we get up there, we'll see what kind of resistance even number holds the 140. Again, if this continues sideways like this could pop through it maybe on some news event or who knows what's going on, news or upgrade or whatever. I don't know if they can upgrade this, but I guess they could give it a higher rating or whatever they do out there in ratings world. All right, so the Qs, though, nothing wrong. Still above the MAs, getting a little bit stretched here. This might have to come back a little bit. Even if it does, $4 or $5, nothing great. But just beware, light volume holding up these markets. So going into Thursday. DIA, love the pattern here, guys, for the bullish pattern. I just do. It's I'm short the DIA too, but great bullish pattern. All-time highs, they have a tendency to fail, so you got to keep an eye on that. But right now, you're above all the MAs, bullish stance, chopping real good in a tight bullish manner. I'd still rather have this one go kind of down instead of this little up move, but I got to give what they take. You know, I got to take what they give me, guys. So right now, a little bit weak today, 14 cents down. I mean, a little tiny bit weak. But let's keep an eye on this. Let's see if the 20 MA curls in the price here and then pops this thing up. First step, 211.59, all-time high. Then possibly you could go into this 220 area, 222. Let's see how this thing goes. But yeah, this pattern is great. If you're bullish, guys, hold tight. This thing could pop. But if it doesn't pop, this thing's going to drop. And when it does, if this pattern fails, we're going a lot lower. So be careful of that. But right now, bullish stance above all the moving averages. Nothing wrong with these charts, guys. If it gets below here, then you got to think about it. You still have a couple gaps to fill. But if it pulls back, goes down a little bit, you know, it could pop right back up. So keep an eye on this bullish pattern. If it does fail, you got to get back to at least double bottom. If that ended up going through that area, then you're probably going to the 200 MA, and then the markets would possibly be pulling back a little bit. So, but again, light volume, guys. Still, this is it. Really, just like Lloyd says, weird, really weird. Let's go into the IYT. The IYT, guys, should be a leader, and it's starting to lag again. We talked about this one months ago, lagging. Then it popped. It still wasn't leading, and as soon as it almost was leading, it came right back in, down, sideways, bearish pattern. You're in this channel. You were at the top, almost made it, came right back in. Now we're back below the 50 and the 20 MA. Keep an eye on that. If you're bullish, you got to get back above this trend line, period. If you don't, then we're just going to be chopping around here, chopping around. So bullish, above the MAs, above the trend line, got to get above this pivot, then possibly higher to fill the gap, and then keep going. Bearish, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see it every time trying, it fails, and then it comes right back in. You have great support coming up on this chart here, so just know that. But gap fill, gap fill, gap fill, then double bottom. But I still think we're going to 150 eventually down the road here in short term. So that's it with the IYT. Light volume, but this one usually has light volume too. All right, let's get into the USO. They had rig counts or whatever the heck they come out with today. Came back up, filled the gap. Everyone's excited. But it's gonna rally this time. Not almost this. This is the last time they were telling everyone it's a rally. This was the last time when this thing was chopping around for weeks. It's gonna rally. It's gonna rally. It's gonna rally, and then they drop it. Everyone dumps, goes short. Then they pop it. Then they tell everyone right here, it's gonna rally. It's gonna rally, and then it drops again. So it's down here. It's about time they tell people it's gonna rally, but this is down sideways. This has to get above these MAs. If it does that, then we'll be looking to short at this trend line in 1127 again. Maybe up in this area, but we'll have to see how this thing shoots up, even if it does. Right now, just chopping and slopping, sideways pattern. 20 MAs curling into price as well as the 50 MA, so keep an eye on that. But right now, slightly bearish. We were short this trade from up in this area. We already covered. Well, we have a quarter position of the USO, but we took a position of the SCO, which is an inverse ETF, which went from 33 bucks to 45 bucks or so in this time frame. So right here is around 33 bucks. The high SCO was right in there. I'll show you real quick. This is the trade that we took. We got in right around 33.80 right in this area here when it started getting up there, and then boom, it took off. The high was 45. So that was a hell of a trade. So last position I took off, unfortunately, was 41.60. And of course, it gave another couple bucks. You know how that works. They want me to chase it, but my trade was over. So, but again, USO setting up in a bearish manner. Let's see where this thing leads us tomorrow. After this pop, I need to see what this does. So time will tell on this one. We'll look at it Friday again. We'll look at it every day, but Friday we'll look at that in the weekly and see what it's telling us on the weekly. Let's go to the UUP. UUP dollar, we talked about support in this area. Thought it was going to start breaking down. We talked about the $25, $24.80 area. You got a gap fill right in this right here, and you got a gap fill down here at 24.73. And boom, 1, 2, 3 days right back up. Got above the 20 MA, which is a little bit in the safe zone right now. Needs to stay above the 20 MA if you're bullish. If it gets back down, then this pattern could possibly play out. We're going to go down to that $25 even number, or the 24.80 area, or 24, what was it, 67 with gap fill. So let's keep an eye on this. It did hold the double bottom, held at 200, and this was interesting right here, and boom, reversed it right back up. So right now above the MAs, the 200 and the 20, got to recapture the 50. Big trend line here. If this thing can get through this 25.89 area, then you might actually have a trend line breakout, and this could possibly go higher, the dollar. But right now, still early. Let's see how this thing sets up, moving up into this area with the trend line. Again, though, you know, making lower highs. So this is big right here. So let's see if we can get up to there. If not, if it comes right back down, then I would expect lower prices. But let's keep an eye on the UUP. We'll talk about this one on Friday, too, on the weekly close. Now we're looking at the GLD. We have the trend line down here, guys. It's holding so far. You also have the 5.0 retrace as well. Now you're just kind of waiting for pattern. If this thing goes sideways, then you're waiting for maybe the next move down. Let's see what it gives us, or does it pop right back up and start moving higher? A lot of gold bugs been asking me about this, and we're already in the trade, guys. We sold half up here. We were in from 110.75 or 111, right in that area there, 110.68 or something. And and we sold half here, came back. I can't buy here. I might buy back at 110, maybe gap fill, maybe 107 if it hits there. But I mean, I would love 100 on this again and do it again. But right now, we're holding this area. We got to see what kind of pattern develops. this continues sideways, these MAs start curling down, this could lead to lower prices. So right now, I'm not doing anything. I would wait for more of a pullback if you want to get into this as a fresh position, and do it that way. I mean, 114 is not bad either, but let's see how this thing sets up to go higher or lower. Can't really do anything now. So, all right, let's look at Jnug. Been getting some emails on this one again. And you know what? Wouldn't have been a bad area right here. Man, look at that, 6.33% today. I almost posted a trade down in here, and looking back now, should have. But anyways, if you got interested, this would have been at 383 area on our old chart before it did the reverse. And this was kind of the last resort. Now we're back above it. If you can see that, there you go. We're back above that area. Step one, we did that. Step two, you got to get it back above these pivots. If you and maybe above the 20 MA. If you can do that, I mean, you got to pivot here, you got to pivot there. So, I mean, if you bought down here, if you were lucky enough, 14.50, 15 bucks. If it gets to 16.78, chisel some off. Gets to 19.16, you know, maybe a little bit more, or or wait in between 18.50. But if you're in the money a buck on this one, start to take a little bit off. Who cares? But big area is going to be here. If it gets to 1978 and gets above the 20 MA, then you're probably looking at 20. And if it really starts going, you're probably looking at 25, 26. Ultimately, though, if this Jnug really starts ripping heads off, you're probably looking at 30 bucks. I wouldn't rule it out, guys. I mean, it's been getting a beat down right here. I wouldn't doubt, a big move up. Look at this. Where'd this go? 32 from 20. I mean, that's a $12 move there. So, 15 to 27. That brings us right in about here. So, you got this trend line here too. So, but if you're in from 15 to 20, take something off, guys. If you follow me, you know better than that. Actually, let's put the retrace in here too. Got a little bit of time. Put the retrace. Yeah, so you're at 24, 26 area. If it gets to 30, whew, that's a heck of a trade. But let's get at least 50% off this thing if this takes off. If it stays down in here and chops, this thing could be possibly setting up for lower prices. So don't get too excited yet. This is first step. It looks like we filled the gap there, and it pretty much closed on top. You got to get into this area here around 17, 19. Another buck or two, and then you'll be in okay shape. People will start to chase this thing up. So Jnug, nothing wrong. Got above that trend line again. Let's see what it gives us in the next couple days. GDXJ, which follows the Jnug. Yes, it's the same thing. We're right back into that trend line here, and that trend line comes from down here when it had a low pivot. So that's going to give you a little bit of resistance there, as well as gap fill. But the GDXJ did close above gap fill, so that's a good sign. This thing starts moving. Next resistance, 32, 33, and then you have this pivot here around 33.14. So right in this area, you got to have resistance, of course, and then this. But if you could get above all that stuff, you're looking at the 38.07, then the 200 MA right around 39. If this starts to break up again, real early, still going sideways, bearish. Let's see how it reacts with the 20 MA and all this stuff in the next couple days or the following week. So again, though, I'm sorry if you got beat up from up in here. We didn't really talk about this. Jnug has some trend lines on his time. If it gets below these trend lines, it could go to 383, and that's exactly what Jnug did. If you look at the chart, let's go back there real quick. But before it did the reverse split, this was at like 384 or wherever it was, and boom, we got above it. Next step, above the next yellow line, which is 17.19, or the pivot high here. So, all right, guys, that's it for me today. If you like my videos, like what I have to say, go to StockBookie.com, sign up for the free membership. You'll get email alerts for when I post videos, trade ideas, and our live sessions, which hopefully we're going to do one tomorrow if I have a little bit of time. But again, thanks for watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.